Welcome to Coffee with Viking. I am Mike. Cheers. Second Samuel. Good King David, flawed family man. With King Saul and his sons dead, the Israelites rally around their favorite hero, the giant killer. They crowned David king. At first, he declared king only of his native Southland tribe, Judah. But later, all of Israel embraces him as their ruler. Saul had been a fine warrior king on the battlefield, but David manages to accomplish what Saul only dreamed of. David secures Israel's borders on all sides, even overpowering the Philistines. He captures Jerusalem and establishes it as Israel's political and spiritual capital. On the family front, though, the king who masters the Middle East seems lost in his own home. He forces his ex-wife, Michal, Saul's daughter, to leave her beloved husband and return to his harem. She hates him for it. David has an affair with a soldier's wife, getting her pregnant and then murdering her husband in a cover-up. And David lets his oldest son get away with raping a half-sister, ignoring the Jewish law about how to deal with such an offender. So the sister's full brother, who's also a son of David, takes the law into his own hands. He murders the prince and eventually leads a coup against his father. Throughout most of David's reign, the country he's leading grows more secure, while the family he's raising falls apart. David, the warrior king. David earns his fame in war, defeating every enemy on Israel's perimeter, but the toughest battles of his life are the ones he loses in his very own home. By telling them David is sick in bed, furious, Saul dissolves their marriage and forces Michal to marry another man. Then Saul spends the rest of his life in search and destroy operation targeting David. Now a fugitive, David flees into southern Israel, where he grew up. There an army gathers around him, drawn like steel to a magnet. Men who were in trouble or in debt or who were just discontented. And the main point of 2 Samuel is God helps David establish Israel as a sovereign nation, strong enough to secure its borders against enemies. The writer isn't identified, but he probably lived sometime after David and Solomon. For more, the date, the story takes place about 1010 to 970 BC during David's 40-year reign. The location is Israel, with some battles in what are now Jordan and Syria. Now, from fugitive to king, 2 Samuel 5, 3 and 4. There at Hebron, King David made a covenant before the Lord with all the elders of Israel, and they anointed him king of Israel. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years in all. Still on the run from King Saul, David gets news that the Philistines have crushed Saul's army, A soldier who said he fought beside Saul delivers the report. Lying, he also says he put the mortally wounded king out of his misery. Why were you not afraid to kill the Lord's anointed one? David asks. Then David gives an order to his own men, kill him. David believes that no one has a right to kill the man God has chosen as Israel's king. That's why David didn't kill Saul earlier when he had opportunities. Saul's commanding general proclaims a new king for Israel, Ishbosheth, the 40-year-old son of Saul. But David's tribe of Judah remains loyal to their legendary son, and they proclaim David king of their tribe. Ishbosheth clashes with his general, Abner, accusing him of having sex with a woman in the royal harem. If Abner slept with a member of the king's harem, which he doesn't deny, it's like saying he is the rightful king. In fact, Abner is probably running the country at the time and feels he has a right to some of the fringe beneath. The theory that Abner is the power behind the throne seems confirmed by what happens next. In his anger, he makes a deal with David to give Ishbosheth's kingdom to David. Unfortunately, David's general Joab kills Abner before the deal gets sealed. It's a revenge murder. Abner had killed Joab's brother in a battle. With Abner gone, fear paralyzes Ishbosheth. He knows that Abner had been defending Ishbosheth's right to rule. Two captains murder Ishbosheth. Then they hack off his head and take it to David, thinking he'll be pleased. But King David is developing a pattern of hostility towards anyone who kills a king in Israel. He orders the two executed. Without a king, leaders of Israel, northern tribes, travel south to Hebron, David's capital. There they proclaim him king of the reunited nation of Israel, in David's capital and kingdom. Israel is David's days stretched into what are now Lebanon in the north, Egypt in the south, along with Syria and Jordan east of the Jordan River. Shaped a little like Florida, David's Jerusalem covered just the bottom half of this ridge below the white dots. His son Solomon later added the square section above where he built the temple, today a 1,300-year-old gold-domed Muslim shrine called the Dome of the Rock, now sits in the temple hilltop. And here's a picture of the map they were talking about. Stay blessed. Stay caffeinated. Much love.